we've seen Humble play at this tournament, it has been them executing at the highest levels. So I feel like this should be a Humble win, but Reply Totem are such land demons in their own right, so you can't really write them off. That being said, Humble hasn't won a single monthly finals this year. LUKII hasn't won a monthly finals, I think, and he's won a World Finals and a Brawl Cup. So, land is such a different beast.
Yeah, and LUKII definitely brings out the best of him, but something that we haven't really spoken on too much, Humble is 8-0 throughout their 8 matches at OWN. So they are, even if they have been touchable on the BSC stage, they have not yet been touched on OWN. They're going to be looking to extend to 9-0, which would be honestly pretty crazy, pretty impressive if they're able to pull that off, but they're trying to remain undefeated. Totem had a little bit more up and down throughout the first couple days of OWN, so they've definitely had their fair share of adversity, whether in BSC or in third party, but Humble's got to be feeling like the favorite for this match, so hopefully they don't let that pressure get to them and we can see a banger matchup between these two teams.
Indeed, and if you just think about the historicity of Humble and how consistent they've been, there was another third-party tournament called GKR, which was in EMEA as well, and they won that tournament too, I believe, all the way in the grand finals. They fought against Reply Totem. So Reply Totem lost that in a 3-1. So this is going to be maybe a revenge match as a possibility. It's definitely something to think about because Totem went all the way to the grand finals against Humble. So, but there they were summarily thrashed by them. So that is also another thing to think about. But in terms of third-party tournaments, Humble has been a team to beat. In terms of BSC lands, they have been a team to beat. Maybe not domestic tournaments, but this is a domestic LAN event, so that might be the math. I don't know, wishful thinking.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Totem and how they lock in for these LAN tournaments, but somebody else who's a little bit of a LAN demon themselves is our boy Semantic right here. I've never seen a esports player play as much of the mental games as I have with Semantic, so I'm excited to see what kind of antics he might be able to bring to the table here, but Totem has just been so calm and composed on this stage so far. They're definitely going to be looking to bring that LAN mentality into our upper bracket finals. Once again, a spot in the grand finals is at stake here, and the winner of this is going to have to be defeated twice in the grand finals in order to lose the tournament. So it's a huge advantage to be able to qualify for grand finals without losing at all, and both of these teams, whichever wins, is going to have a massive upside.
Yeah, for sure. And we have these 5 maps. There's going to be Hideout, New Horizons, Open Business, Hard Rock Mine, and Hot Potato. Hideout, it's a pretty interesting map. It isn't your classical bounty map. It has some lanes on either side which are quite open, but then it's also marred with, I guess you couple it with these L-shaped walls with grass on either side, so you can have viability for throwers to come out, but it also makes it viable for things like Gray or Gene to be options. So you see them being banned out from time to time. Other things to consider is how good Buzz is currently with a 1.5 second stun, regardless of how far away you're from him when he managed to land that hook. But we're gonna go into our draft, and our bans are gonna be Bell, Kaze, Byron, Gus, Gene, and Jae Young. First pick gonna be the Gray coming in from Humble.
Yeah, the Gray, I'm a little bit surprised to see Gray coming out first. I do think he's fantastic on this map, but he does struggle a bit in the range department compared to other sharpshooters. That being said, there is still enough walls for him to be pretty viable. Once he gets those teleports too, he can definitely make his move to kill some of the lower HP brawlers. So what Reply Totem's going to do is they're not going to go lower HP brawlers. They're going to take LUKII, who is a little bit in that middle range, still a pretty safe pick even with the range nerf. And then they're taking an Ollie as well to add a little bit of beef to the comp here. Should be able to make a play for the blue star with that, as well as secure some kills with that hypnosis.
Indeed, I like that alley pick. Sorry, I want to say alley Ollie pick. It's really great because you have the stuns coming in from the LUKII, you have the hypnosis from the Ollie. LUKII has been a little bit of a hit and miss for me. I feel like sometimes it does great, but right now I feel like the range nerf has kind of addressed a lot of the oppressiveness that LUKII brings to the table. So now she fills niches rather than being a brawler to pick all the time. And on the other side, Humble opted for your favorite brawler. It's time for the Mandy and that Buster.
Let's go. Finally, we get some Mandy gameplay. It always hurts to watch these bounty and knockout drafts go through with no Mandy, but I gotta be honest, I'm a little surprised to see her picked into the Ollie. Ollie has a lot of aggression. If he's able to get a super, that's more or less going to be a free kill onto the Mandy. But they go a Buster, who has a little bit more defensive capabilities. If the Ollie does choose to go in on either of his teammates, he's going to be able to pull him away with that gadget. But Totem is answering the bell with a Hank final pick of the draft. I do like this comp a lot from Totem. They have like no range, but they're going to be so difficult to take out. And as far as bounty drafts go, I mean, this is looking like it could be a pretty fun one to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Hank pick does bring a little anarchy to the table here, but I think it might be exactly what they need in this situation. It really does come down to how they decide to orchestrate and execute with this idea that they have in mind.
Yeah, I think that the Mandy is going to be able to get a lot of damage off here, but it's really going to be if she's able to secure those kills with the super. But we are into game number 1 of our upper bracket finals, Humble versus Totem. We do see Maru grabbing the blue star, but Semantic is immediately going to pull him in. That's going to be a kill there. So we have 2 stars on the side of Humble, the one star on the side of Totem, and they're going to be trying to regroup here and wait for a moment to push in. But Boss is going to pick off Mari. He does get taken out there, so a little bit of a negative trade right there. We're tied up, but Humble's still in the lead by the blue.
Oh yeah, and then that gray portal so early on is such an important aspect here. On the right hand side though, Maru is running a little bit of interference. Oh, he gets pulled, but it's not going to do all that much. It does break up the walls a little bit, so you have a little bit more visibility. It also ensures, oh, HMBLE goes down by Boss. Beautiful super coming in from LUKII as well for connecting it, and now he's going up against Mori. Finds the kill. He has another super. Maru going in, hypercharge, connects to, finds another one, but not able to find one onto AngelBoy. The end. That is crazy. We saw LUKII going off on a tear.
Dude, Humble looks absolutely unstoppable right now. LUKII and Boss combining for kills. We have Mandy taking teleports. Not something that you're typically used to seeing, but Boss is just continuing to connect on these gray hooks right now. He's got another teleport if he chooses to do so, but AngelBoy's going up with that Hank shield. He has super, he has hypercharge. He's not going to hit any of his fish torpedoes, but Maru's going in now. Oh, no. He's going to be able to get a kill out there, so it's only a 4-star difference. Boss does secure that kill around AngelBoy, having to aim exceptionally well right there. But LUKII on 5 stars in the back of the spawn. He wastes his super, but we still have a 4-star lead for Humble.
This is such a high-star game, and it is favoring Humble, but it's been so back and forth. LUKII has 5 to his name, and that is something scary. Boss goes in, he finds one onto Mori, and that's exactly what they need. Humble up 1-0 in terms of the game line, and the first set is proving to be a very back and forth affair already.
Yeah, that was definitely not the start that Totem was looking for, but they had chances to bring it back, but Boss was so effective with his teleports. He would teleport in, shoot around people trying to body block, and just secure those kills with the gray. It was fantastically played to him. And also, LUKII just went absolutely nuclear on the Mandy. I thought it might be a tough Mandy game, considering the amount of HP on the side of Totem, but this is going to be a good start for Totem. Are they able to kill Semantic? Barely able to escape there. Took AngelBoy a bit too long to charge up that bubble, so they're going to be able to escape with their life, but Totem still has the lead by 1 star.
Yeah, LUKII already has a super to use. Obviously wants to get his hypercharge, so might be saving it a little bit. It might be easier for him to get hypercharge as the enemy team walks into them, but right now with the blue star being on Totem, it's Humble's task to actually move up here.
Yeah, they definitely don't have the best comp for aggressing, especially considering AngelBoy can just chill behind these walls with that big bubble. Maru's going to be able to chill behind the walls with that gadget and be able to hit those hypnosis, so it's definitely a tough situation for Humble. They've got to get a kill. LUKII does connect the super, but it's not enough to take down the LUMI.
Yeah, Maru though has a hypnotize that he can use here. Hypercharge being popped by Semantic, and he does get the pull here. AngelBoy gets pulled back and he gets taken out, and so does Mori to add insult to injury, and Maru as well. There's a super by LUKII, but on to absolutely nobody since they're invincible. And now LUKII has a hypercharge, needs to get his own super. For 47 seconds, 5-star is the differential between these teams, and I think it's still possible for Totem to come back in this one.
Yeah, that was a pretty perfect push from Humble, though, but Totem is taking that positioning back with the HP of the Hank. He's going to get pulled, though. Mandy hypercharge. Oh, my goodness. LUKII is actually ridiculous on this brawler. LUKII and Boss are just picking off these kills like nobody's business. It's 12 stars to 1. Totem is going to have to like throw up a Hail Mary prayer or something at this point. It is looking like they're probably cooked. AngelBoy's going to be trying to get some of that positioning back. Maru's going in. They might be able to kill Boss. And actually, they're going to take out Semantic as well. Only 5 stars separate these teams. They need LUKII and another kill.
Yeah, it's not looking like that's going to happen as Semantic is going up against AngelBoy, and they managed to cap that off with a complete victory. So they got 2 games in which they took them to 20 stars, one after the other. It was a pretty close affair. We had so many kills coming in left and right in the first game, and it seemed like it was going to be a very, like, I guess, down to the wire sort of thing. I felt like it was going to go all the way, all 3 games in the set, but Humble in the second game were completely able to flex their dominance over their opponents.
Yeah, on paper, that should not have been as good of a Mandy game as it was, but LUKII, he doesn't care about the paper, man. LUKII is different. He hit like every one of those supers, every one of those hypers, and he was just able to get so much damage out onto the field. The way that they worked as a team to secure the lead back in that second game as well was just absolutely textbook in my opinion. I mean, they pushed in, they got all 3 kills, and they got out. Can't really ask for much more than that if you are rooting for Humble here, but they are starting strong. 1-0 set lead is definitely what the doctor ordered if you're a Humble fan.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was beautiful stuff coming from Humble, especially in that second game. Let's see what happens in the second set, though. New Horizons is going to be the set here, and this is a pretty interesting one. Hopefully, it gives, I guess, more Horizons or better Horizons and New Horizons to Reply Totem, because they need a response here to what Humble brought to the table in the first set.
Yeah, I think as far as drafts goes, this is a pretty similar map. They are built, Hideout and New Horizons, that is. They are built pretty similarly. There are going to be the same tanks that thrive on Hideout are the same tanks that thrive on New Horizons. So Ollie and Hank definitely going to be in play, as well as like Mandy, Gray, Jae-Young, Jean, some of these other brawlers, Gus, that we've seen pop out through our knockout and bounty matches in the earlier part of the day. But I don't know, man. It's going to definitely be pretty interesting here. We saw the aggression that Totem brought out to the field here, and it just did not pan out in the bounty set. Maybe a knockout, they'll have a little bit more luck with an aggressive strategy, but they might want to be a little bit more passive in draft.
For sure. I mean, the passivity is such an important aspect. Sometimes you are very aggressive with the way you decide to draft, and then you open yourself up to a lot of different countermeasures. And we're going to go into our draft here. Reply Totem taking a little bit more conservative approach to this. They decide to go for the Gus, and I don't think you can go wrong with the Gus. But I mean, okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. I bought Ali as the early access on this map. It was so much fun playing Ali, I have to say. Anyway, back to the draft.
Yeah, we've got our bans. It's Jae-Young, Jean, Kit, Hank, Buster, and Ollie. So Totem banning out 3 aggressive brawlers. It looks like they do not want to have any part of the aggressive style of play that they brought into the first set here. So definitely going to be a change of strategy coming out from Reply Totem. Humble banning out Jean makes a lot of sense. He's one of the better brawlers on this map. If you get a pull, that can more or less secure you around. Same goes for Kit, although it is a little bit high risk, high reward with that Kit pick. Jae-Young is just a pretty sturdy brawler across the board, but Gray is still open. Piper, Mandy, Belle, all those snipers are still open. So we'll see if they try to go a little bit more aggressive. LUKII also has not been banned out, so she could find her way into the mix here. We're instead going to see Charlie come out, though. A little bit surprised to see Charlie, but with that range buff that she got in the last set of balance changes, she can definitely hang a little bit more into sharpshooter matchups, especially with how frequently she's able to get that spider gadget.
For sure. We saw how good Zar was with the spider gadgets, so with the hypercharge as well, in specifically that high set, but it does a similar thing here where you want to ensure that you cocoon the enemy team, and then obviously put down multiple spiders so they don't have as much of a way to have a counterplay. And going into brawlers that don't have Pierce, Charlie is very good. Now Reply Totem have to have some kind of counterplay, because you know that something aggressive could be an option as the last pick for Humble, so they have to draft accordingly.
Yeah, I think the Byron pick is kind of setting them up for that as well. If they want to go with a tank, then they're going to be able to, but there's also not that many tanks left on the board. Reply Totem banned out 3 of the probably best ones here. And we're going to see Totem finish up their draft with Lumi and Kaze. Kaze is a brawler who's been banned out almost every set, so definitely excited to see some Kaze gameplay on the field right here. Maybe it'll be Angel Boy manning that brawler, and I cannot wait to see what he brings into the table. But Lumi's going to be a pretty fantastic pick as well. Once that smoke starts closing in, that ice gadget and that super are going to be even more impactful than before. So it's also good because it pierces through the Charlie spiders. So the Charlie pick might not be that useful, but she is still going to have that cocoon if the Kaze goes in on her.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, those are all sorts of considerations, but I have to say that the assassin ability that Bonnie can bring to the table is a very troubling concern for the side of Reply Totem, because right now, other than Lumi's stun, there isn't really any counterplay to that Bonnie per se, other than, I'd say, maybe Akaze going in with the shield from the Gus. But, you know, Bonnie can just jump out of that situation.
Yeah, I think that the Bonnie pick is pretty safe, I guess. I mean, she's got the ability to jump out of a bad situation. She's got the ability to jump into a good situation. So pretty versatile option on the board right there. The heals from the Byron should come in clutch as well. But we are into set number 2, guys. Reply Totem is down in sets right now, so they're gonna have to bounce back. Angel Boy is manning that Kaze, but he's gonna fall quite weak to boss throughout the first interaction of this game. Not expecting too much to go down right now, but Maru actually might fall to this tap from LUKII, and indeed he does. That is a devastating mistake for the side of Reply Totem, and now Humble has full position and a 3v2.
Yeah, great spot for Humble, and now Angel Boy trying to get the kill on a Semantic, but that's not going to be the case. But he needs to do that, otherwise there isn't really a way forward for them to get any dubs here. Boss has a super of his own, probably not going to be using it. Mori needs to get that stun. If he gets a stun, then there is a game-winning opportunity, but Mori gets taken out. Angel Boy the next to follow. First round in the bag for Humble.
Yeah, really bad start for Reply Totem. They can't lose their Gust that early. That is going to be the linchpin of their comp. Those shields are going to come in so clutch, especially if they're able to equip Angel Boy with one. He throws his super out, though. Semantic is going to be baited into jumping. Not really going to be able to get any value out of that. He is going to stay in small form for now, though. Trying to keep Angel Boy out of this wall.
Indeed, he should be getting the better of the interaction. There, Angel Boy with a hypercharge gets a kill on a Semantic, and Maru is the next to fall. And now it is going to be a 2v2 situation, but Angel Boy in an awkward position. LUKII and Boss have to get a kill on either Mori or Angel Boy to satisfy a win condition here, and they have the positioning to do so.
Yeah, well played by Angel Boy to regroup with Mari, get that positioning a little bit straightened out. It was definitely smart of Boss and LUKII to force the issue onto the Gus once they had lost their teammate. Definitely the correct play to make. Totem is going to be playing this relatively slow, though. Mori's going to throw out his Morning Stars, try and just occupy space on this map as Angel Boy is kind of dashing around, having a good time. He might go for Boss, but not quite yet. The ice is out, and the stun is in, and we're going to see Angel Boy get cocooned, but he's able to get the kill first. Now we have a 1v2, and that is going to be Totem securing round 2.
Beautiful stuff coming in from Reply Totem. They knew their win condition was around and centered, and the crux of the situation was that you needed the stun coming in from the Lumi, and Zara got that stun. Sorry, Mori got that stun, and ensured that Angel Boy was able to get those kills. So beautiful stuff coming in from them, and now Angel Boy going in against LUKII, finds a kill, gets in, gets out, has his hypercharge pop. Now Semantic jumping in, tries to find a kill, not able to do so, gets taken out himself. Insane response from Reply Totem as they are able to get this one and get the first game.
What a turnaround right there, man. Angel Boy just soloed them. He switched into the ninja form, immediately dashed all the way back. I don't know how he was able to cycle his super that quickly, but that was a disgusting kill. He's able to get away with it scot-free too and secure that round for his team. I don't really know if they would have had any type of motion if not for Angel Boy's Kaze play right there.
Dude, he's crazy. He went in on a Semantic once, he went in on a Boss once, and he took them out. I have to mention, though, that the range buff of the Charlie has done them a lot of favors, but so far though against Angel Boy it seems like it doesn't matter. Semantic gets taken down, and unfortunate for him, but so does Boss, and now it's up to LUKII to pick up the slack, but it's not going to be the case as he knows it's going to be all over as a Reply Totem get round number 1 in the second game.
Yeah, the aggression of Angel Boy on that Kaze, even though he didn't really get any kills himself that game, it just takes so much effort to deal with him. He goes in with the super again, and he's likely going to be able to deal with Semantic, but he misses. Semantic barely gets away with his life there, and that is a huge mistake on the side of Angel Boy. I mean, it's definitely a tough kill to secure, but they needed that, and now it is going to be Humble taking this round more likely than not. Maru's just going to be trying to charge up a shield for round number 3, but this is a huge turn of events right there. Definitely thought Angel Boy might be able to get away with that.
Indeed, this also allows Boss to get his super. So if the Kaze tries to jump in on anybody with the super, you know that Boss is going to be ensuring that he cocoons them. So that's something to think about here. As the right hand side is going to be a little bit contested. Semantic being pushed back by Mori a little bit.
Yep, Angel Boy is just going to be trying to hold it down in this little L-shaped wall here. He does avoid the splash from LUKII, so a little bit of a waste of utility. Probably should have known that he was going to dash out of that situation. Semantic over here is fighting his demons on the right-hand lane. He's not able to push up past those Lumi balls. And Mari has no intention of stepping out, but he does now with the ice gadget. He might go for a stun here, but he chooses to hold on to his utility. Maybe he wants to save that for Boss to get that cocoon out of the way. Indeed, that's what he wants. Boss missed his super, and he's somehow going to be able to survive with the help of LUKII's heals. He does finally go down. 3v2 for the side of Totem.
Beautiful stuff coming from Mori there, at hypercharge being popped by Maru. He should surely get the kill there. It is going to be super being used in that situation. Semantic in a bad spot, jumps to get out of that situation, but they're gonna be killed in tandem, and that's gonna be Reply Totem taking this set and responding in kind to Humble's aggression. It's a 1-1 scoreline against Humble and Reply Totem.
Yeah, I mean, Totem just turned that set around so quick. Once Angel Boy got that first absolutely disgusting Kaze play, it just looked like they owned that set right there. So we're tied up at 1-1. We've got the table set for an absolute banger throughout our first 2 sets right here. Always love to see it tied up, and I'm hoping that we can get a set 5 out of these 2 teams here, Pan.
Yeah, I think that's definitely possible. It might be on the cards. Next map is going to be Open Business, and yeah, New Horizons was, I guess, the path forward for Reply Totem to get back in this one. And honestly, I have to say, it's not just like Humble. I mean, it's not just Reply Totem getting lucky or whatever. They played that one really well. There were situations where, you know, members of Humble were caught lacking, and you saw that happening whenever Angel Boy went in. But there were counterplay measures for Humble, but they never opted to use it, or they were pushed in ways which allowed and facilitated, I guess, Angel Boy to go in unabated repeatedly, time in and time again.
Yeah, I think that the side of Reply Totem just did such a good job distracting the Charlie. I feel like the Charlie was the piece of Humble's comp that they really needed in order to neutralize the Kaze. And just because of the ability of the LUKII to kind of distract with the ice gadgets, with the stuns, they were able to not allow Angel Boy to get put in that cocoon. That was such a big turn of events for Totem, and that is, I think, kind of the main piece that we saw them be able to take advantage of. But we've got set 3 pulled up here, guys. The map on the screen is not correct. It is, in fact, going to be Hot Zone Open Business. So our bans are B, Lou, Griff, Hank, Lumi, and Finks.
Indeed. And just looking at the map, not what you see on the screen, but it is open business. It is a relatively open map. We have seen brawlers like Jae Young do really well here. They have range. Sustained brawlers as well are great on maps such as this one. But I feel like the meta has been so focused on tank and tank heavy options that you're probably going to see them a lot more, especially with the bans that we see. We have B and Lou being banned out along with the Hank. It just makes it that much more possible to run more tankier options. And also we know that the Griff with a hypercharge is great on a map such as open business. So it's not surprising to see that, as the pickup of Kaze has been confirmed by Humble.
Yeah, it looks like Humble is not going to be dealing with that Angel Boy Kaze pick any longer. We've got the map switch on the screen now for you viewers, but Reply Totem is going to go with the Jae Young and the Chester. We have not yet seen Chester played since his nerf, but in fact, he is going to take 20% longer to charge up his super and his hypercharges because of that. So going to be a little bit less strong in the meta than he once was. Still a pretty solid tank counter option, and he should still be pretty good into Kaze. So I think that's the thought that we see coming out from Reply Totem. Jae Young is a fantastic brawler for speed to get your teammates into the zones, the heal to sustain your teammates' HP on the zone. Pretty much just built for Hot Zone as a brawler concept in general. So we'll see what Humble has to answer that, but already the Kaze is looking like it might get a little bit countered out.
Yeah, Kaze into Chester is a little bit of a death sentence for the Kaze, and it also gives Chester that all-important purple button, which is a win game button. So even now it's a win game button. It's just that you don't charge it as much as you used to in the past, which is kind of crazy. So it's not the best option to go up against for Kaze, especially also the Jae Young. There's some counterplay, right? You pop your gadget and you do insane amounts of damage in that situation. So you need to pair that aggression with a little bit of sustain if you're Humble.
Yep, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to get Meg, one of the best brawlers for kind of just sitting your fat butt on the zone and just chilling in there. They got Kenji as well. Going to be trying to cycle towards those Kenji hypercharges, but it might be a little bit tough. We see Reply Totem answering with an Ashe final pick. Not a map that you typically see Ashe on, but good Ashe players can make him work anywhere if they're able to keep up that rage. And with matchups into Kenji and Kaze who don't have the most range, the Ashe should be able to thrive pretty successfully here. So we'll see how it goes. The Meg pick is definitely a bit off meta, but I do like the idea from Humble.
Yeah, we're going to go into set number 3 versus between Humble and Reply Totem. Both teams have claimed a set of their own. This one is going to be setting the momentum for the teams here, as Semantic gets a kill on an Angel Boy and Boss gets air? It's an air ball?
He got decent value there, but he's definitely not was definitely looking for a kill there and was not going to be able to walk away with it. We see Jae Young just juicing up Angel Boy on the Ashe right now. Boss is going to be trying to continue to cycle out these supers, but LUKII is on full HP. He's just going to come spray down the middle of the zone. And we just see how useful the Meg is for just holding control right there. Finally, a hypercharge online already from LUKII. Semantic's going to be able to take out Angel Boy as well. And Maru might be next to fall, but he's actually going to be able to get that kill. Massive stuff coming in from Maru to be able to survive on this low HP.
Indeed, and I gotta say, the Kaze is playing this one really well. Semantic, very opportune situations. He goes in, gets those kills, but right now, though, there's a huge opportunity coming in from Reply Totem. Mar gets kill on his own mark, and Semantic, though, finds a kill on Amori, it's gonna be huge, but Angel Boy finds a kill on a Semantic with his robotic rats at the end, which is unfortunate for them, but something which is definitely welcome. Now, though, there are hypercharges coming out from either side. Ooh, Maru going in, but he gets taken out by Semantic, but there is a trade nonetheless. Boss has a hypercharge, goes for it, goes for the pull, gets a little bit, but not any value from the actual super, though.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate with the hypercharge miss from Boss. That's going to be the break that Reply Totem needed right now. Angel Boy is on pretty high HP, but the swipe from LUKII does so much damage.
No.
Semantic goes in on low HP, and he's going to be taken out, but Boss just continues to tick up this zone. He's not letting the side of Reply Totem step foot onto it, but Mari's finally going to have a little bit of a break here, and this zone is evening up right now as we get into the end of the game. It looks like both teams are going to be around 80% zone time.
Indeed, Mori has so much to sustain, just giving that HP to his teammates. Now Boss is forced to use his super in that situation just to get something, get them off the zone. Hypercharge by Semantic, he finds one, Angel Boy, oh no, he survives! And that's gonna give Totem the dub there, a very important dub. I can't believe they survived there.
That was huge. It looks like Totem, like, barely even was getting kills there. They just managed to stay on the zone longer. They just played objective, and that ended up delivering them the victory right here. Humble's got to answer back because the momentum is quickly turning against them. Reply Totem is on match point right now, or set point right now, so they're looking to go up 2-1. We're going to see LUKII manning the middle of the zone one more time, trying to dominate with that HP that the Meg has to offer, but Mori's going to be trying to get him pretty weak right now. The Jaeyoung damage gadget has been popped, and one shot from demeching LUKII. LUKII has been demeched, and Boss is going to be able to get a kill on the right side, so solid start for Humble.
Indeed, now the robotic rats are going on to LUKII. LUKII has no real way to compete against Angel Boy, but right now Angel Boy is allowing him to go on in the mech and the hypercharge as well, and you can pretty much get your hypercharge pretty easily here, though. Angel Boy gets a kill on a Boss, and it is going to be a slight Humble lead of about 10-15%. Angel Boy gets whacked into oblivion by LUKII there with that little slap.
Yeah, Semantic is going to be finally coming into form on the Kaze here. He's got his hypercharge ready to go if he wants to, but the lead is looking pretty significant for Humble now. Angel Boy's going to be stuck in the Veil right there. He does heal up, but Semantic is just going so crazy with this Kaze. He gets a lot of damage out. He does go down, though, and we're going to see Totem get a little bit of control back on the zone for the first time in this game. They're going to be trying to tick that zone percentage up above 50% coming up here. LUKII has his swipe ready to go there. Semantic and Boss still are looking pretty healthy as well, but Angel Boy somehow gets that kill. Semantic is going to be in a tough spot as well, and this is the chance Totem needed.
Beautiful stuff for Reply Totem right now. They need to hold control. They are down by about 20% now, but they have managed to come back in the last game just like that. Hypercharge this time does make its connection. Boss gets taken out by Angel Boy, but has done his job, and now Humble are just on the point. That possession is ticking it up, 88, 89, 90, and they just need to stay on this point here, Duncan, and it's basically done for them as they are able to equalize this at 1 apiece in the third set.
Yeah, Boss being able to get more value out of that Kenji pick was definitely monumental for that second game right there. I mean, he was missing a couple supers in the first one, and that ended up being pretty important. So Humble definitely played a lot better in game number 2, but we just see that the sustainability of the Jaeyoung pick has been so important for the side of Totem. That's definitely been their saving grace. Even when they're not winning in the kills department, they're just able to out-heal with the Ashe and with the Jaeyoung. But we are tied up at 1 game apiece on Hot Zone. Going in here, we have Mori doing a bunch of damage in the middle with that Jaeyoung. LUKII is incredibly weak here, but it looks like he's going to be able to remain in his mech for the time being.
Indeed. Now there is a super being used by Semantic to ensure that people can't stay on the hot zone for too long. There is a mono with an Ashe and a Kenji, and Boss manages to stay alive in that situation. Hypercharge coming in from Angel Boy onto Semantic. He does manage to find the mark now. He's going in for the hunt onto LUKII. Can he find the kill? I don't know, but he's managed to push back LUKII all the way from the mid, and right now totality of control from Reply Totem in the mid.
Yeah, it looks like LUKII just wanted to survive there, but he's finally going to be able to get back into mech. He does have hypercharge as well, so definitely a brawler to keep your eye on once he gets that mega swipe. But Semantic is going a little bit crazy over here with the hypercharge. Maru does end up coming out on top of that interaction, And this is the first time that we've seen Totem leading throughout the beginning stage of the game. Boss gets absolutely deleted off the face of the planet. And now we do see the Kaze super coming down. Control's going to go back over into the side of Humble. That was a good squad wipe right there, and they're going to take the lead as we go above 50%.
Yep, it is a little bit of a mano-a-mano right now. It's going to go down the wire for sure. And now Angel Boy going up against Semantic. Semantic trying to find the kill. He gets a super off on Angel Boy. Not able to find the kill. There are robotic rats. Semantic gets dispatched, and Boss is the next to fall. He gets deleted, and that is unfortunate. Great spot for Totem once more. They are down by 20%, but have control of the mid.
Yeah, this is a huge interaction right here. Semantic completely covers the zone, and he's going to trade out with Angel Boy, so maybe not the best look for Humble. LUKII's going to be in a really tough spot with the Chester Hypercharge, and now we see both teams are above 80%. Semantic and Boss going in. Boss has the Hypercharge. He gets 2 kills, and he's going for a third. That is a full squad wipe from Boss, and that is going to secure set number 3 for the team of Humble. Fantastically played on the Kenji right there. That one just completely won them the set.
That was robbery. That was robbery. Humble did not deserve that win. I mean, I'm gonna take that in my grave, but I don't think Humble deserved that win. It felt like a Reply Totem win, but then they just had that one Kenji Hypercharge, which completely favored the side of Humble, and it is we get purple button win game sort of situation. I feel so bad for Reply Totem, but Humble gets the dub, and that's what matters at the end of the day.
That was such a close set, dude. You could just see the look on Reply Totem's face. They definitely thought that they had a good chance to win that. I feel bad for them, but they've got to keep their head up. It is not over yet. Only 2 sets for Humble to 1 set to Totem. So, I mean, Humble's going to have the chance to close it out here in set number 4. Totem's going to have to make sure that they can force that set number 5. I would love for us to get to a double match point with the stakes as high as they are here, but we're going to be moving into gem grab for set 4. And Panda, it's going to be Hard Rock Mine that we're playing on.
Yeah, and right now, Humble are caught between a rock and a hard place, literally, because, Hard Rock Mine. Sorry. But yeah, we're gonna go to Hard Rock Mine. It's gonna be set number 4. This is definitely the spot that Totem want to be in, right? Humble, I felt like are the crowd favorites, are what people expect to win everything here, but Totem showing up today is gonna give a lot more confidence to them in future tournaments, not just this one here. This is the upper bracket finals, so regardless of which team wins, the other team is not out of the competition. It is not out of the contention yet. They have a way forwards in the lower bracket, and they don't obviously want to meet SK Gaming. They want to go all the way to the grand finals, and they're going to do their best in their ability to ensure that that's not going to be the case. But right now, it's time for Hard Rock Mine, and our bans are going to be in.
Yep, we've got Humble banning out Gus, Tara, and Buster. Reply Totem is going to ban out LUKII, Crow, and Gene. So it's interesting. We haven't seen Crow picked yet, but he has been banned a couple of times since he got that HP buff. Either way, though, Humble is going to go with the Lily with the first pick, and I just love to see this, Panda. It's when you see Lily come off first pick and gem grab, you just know that we're going to get some banger resets, some awesome finishes to some of these games. It's a pick that you go not for control at all, but you just want to do it for the threat of taking out the opponent's gem carrier. Reply Totem is now going to have to think about that, maybe taking a mid that has a little bit more sustainability, perhaps a knockback, but Gene and Gus are both out of the picture, so the knockbacks might be few and far between.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like these bans as well as this pick from Humble. It just shows that Humble is right now ready to mean business. They don't want to take any prisoners, so that Lily is going to be a little bit of a nuisance for Reply Totem, especially in your backlines in the grass. You need to be careful about how you position yourself, otherwise that Lily is just going to be there to be a nuisance and take you out one after the other.
Yeah, it's a brawler that you have to be so hyper vigilant of too, because you never know when she has popped a gadget to slide into your bushes. So you definitely got to make sure you're checking your 6 here. Reply Totem going for a little invisibility of their own with the Sandy. I mean, that's a pick that we saw earlier, and it did work out for them. So I think I like the idea. It's always been a pretty decent lane on this map. He has fallen out of the meta a pretty solid amount, but with the speed gear issues, he might be a little bit more meta. The Jae Young is going to help out a ton as far as the healing and the speed goes as well. So I think that you really can't go wrong with the Jae Young. And if Sandy's able to cycle out supers, then it definitely could be a pretty important pick.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think you can go wrong with Jae Young whatsoever. Like you mentioned, the Sandstorm, if you're running Root Sands, you should be able to find out where people are. I think that Root Sands in conjunction with specifically Jaeyoung might be the play because you get the heals, you also get the ability to spot out where people are in the grass. So I also like the fact that with Sandy you can wall peek pretty consistently and pretty well. I feel like one of the better wall peekers in Brawl Stars, and Humble decided to go with the Byron for the heal and the Kaze, and Kaze is such a great brawler. They didn't pay dividends to Humble, but it definitely did to Reply Totem. I don't know if this Kaze pick is just because they want to run Kaze, vis-a-vis ensure that Angel Boy doesn't run Kaze, because we saw how good he was with Kaze on Hideout, right? And New Horizons.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't see Reply Totem snatch up the Kaze. It's pretty rare to see her make it that far down in the draft, but Reply Totem is going even further off the meta with this final pick. They're taking the Bull, who has been recently reworked, so I'm excited to see how this looks. Angel Boy went absolutely crazy on Pit Stop with the Bull, but that's always been a Bull map. Hard Rock Mine, not as much, but it is a great answer into the Kaze and into the Lily, so I completely see what they're going for here. Gotta wonder if Humble maybe thought there's no way they pull out the Bull.
I don't know, man. This Bull kind of feels like a fumble, but you know, that's what Humble wants.
I like it into Kaze. I like it into Lily. I mean, those are two brawlers that are up close and personal, and Bull is really not somebody who you want to get in the face of, especially when he's got Jaeyoung speed and heals.
Actually, you might be right. Yeah, you might be right here. We're gonna go into set number 4 between Humble and Reply Totem. The winner of this goes to the grand finals. But right now, Humble are 1 point away from that, and sure though, they have control of this mid, and the kill from Boss on Tamaru is going to ensure that it's a little bit more of an even scoreline here.
Yeah, Angel Boy is just playing so aggro to start off this game. We already see Maru with the Sandy super as well, so that's going to be pretty impactful. He's able to pick up a kill onto LUKII as well. So those two gems are going to be sitting there up for the grabs. I don't know if Angel Boy is going to plan on going in for it yet, but he goes for Boss. Boss is going to go to the Shadow Realm right before meeting his demise. So an unfortunate trade out on the side of Totem, but I mean, the gems are pretty even so far. Semantic already has Hypercharge, and he's going for the Jaeyoung. He's going to be able to get that kill. Not able to get out with all the gems, but still a positive elixir trade for Humble.
Yeah, big Chug coming out here. There isn't another kill, but we're waiting for the respawn of Reply Totem. Right now, they don't seem to be figuring. Now Angel Boy going in. He gets a Stomper. He gets a kill. He gets the gems, and he's going to be jumping out. No, he doesn't even need to jump out of this situation. Boss and Semantic holding the lines on either flank, but Mari getting the kill is going to be huge. And now Angel Boy is going to be able to pick up all 10 gems. That's crazy for Reply Totem.
We're in set 4 of the upper bracket finals, and I'm witnessing Bull Gem Carrier, and it's working. This is crazy stuff happening right now, but they need to take out Angel Boy if Humble's going to have a chance to come back here. He hits the shot off of the wall, but onto the wrong guy. Angel Boy's going to clean that up. 3 seconds left on the board, and there is not going to be enough damage. Almost enough damage, but not quite enough to get the reset. That's going to be Totem taking the first game, and it seems like this Bull pick is actually genius.
It's so good. Okay, it's not just good. It is Angel Boy piloting that Bull. He is crazy. His dashes were right on point. Whenever his teammates were getting pressured, he knew, okay, now it's my time to go into LUKII. I'm going to keep doing that. Let's see if that strategy pays off for Reply Totem in the second game of this 4th set. They're 1 game away of forcing a set number 5, but let's see if they do have what it takes.
Yeah, Mori's going to kind of deliver the gems over to the side of Humble. Not the best situation to be caught out in, but Semantic kind of forced his hand. Angel Boy is still going to be up very aggro here. He gets splashed, but he doesn't care. He's going to go in anyway. Not able to secure a kill, but he does buy a little bit of time. And with this Sandstorm out here, it's going to be good positioning for the side of Totem, but they are going to have to fall back here. Mari does have a solid gem lead, but Boss is going to go in and secure that kill. And once again, we have Angel Boy on the Bull Gem Carrier. This is actually crazy to witness.
Yeah, but what's happening right now is that the Humble squad is targeting the other 2 members of Reply Totem. So that ensures that Bull doesn't have the support to go in for some of these rushes. And you're seeing that happening over and over again. Hypercharge coming in for Semantic, and he's going to go on this right-hand side, but opting not to go for the engage just there. He gets stunned, and he manages to survive, though. Just managing to ensure that he's a big distraction for Reply Totem.
Yeah, having these gems on Bull's head is definitely not what Totem wants, because now he's not able to go for LUKII and just have the peace of mind knowing that if he dies, it's not game over. If he goes for LUKII and dies, that is going to be a Humble victory. We see Angel Boy falling a little bit weak back here. They cannot get Lily out of the spawn, and everything is looking pretty good for Humble now. Boss is able to get away with that, and if he's able to get a gadget, he'll be able to walk away. He survives on 6 HP, and he has a free reign back to the spawn. This is likely going to be Humble taking this countdown.
That's crazy. Angel Boy goes in, but that is just a death rattle, and now we have Humble taking the dub. It is going to be Humble on match point against Reply Totem in the last fixture that we had at a grand finals of a third-party tournament. It was Humble winning against Reply Totem at 3-1, but now Humble might just be able to ensure that they force the set number 5. It looked really bad for them.
Yeah, but I mean, they have match point now, so this is just one game away from the grand finals of OWN Valencia. The stakes are high here. Totem needs a win to force a set 5. Humble's going to be trying to stop that from happening, but the beginning of the game is going to be a little bit hectic. We see LUKII getting pretty tappy here, and Boss has managed to slime his way all the way around. Mori does end up dying with the gems, so now we have Maru on the gems. Not ideal for Reply Totem, but not the end of the world either, but Humble does have full positioning.
Full positioning, full control, LUKII as well as a sniper in the mid. It's looking really good for Humble right now. It's really going to come down to Angel Boy making those insane plays like Pika. Otherwise, it's not going to be paying them dividends. Ooh, big super coming in, hypercharge as well. Semantic going in, but Angel Boy has other plans in mind. Now he's pushing back LUKII. He's going to be taken out here, surely. Nope, managed to survive.
Nope. The Jaeyong heals coming in clutch, keeping Angel Boy healthy here. He's going to be pretty weak. He is looking like he wants to force the issue onto Semantic, but he's going to be a little bit too low HP to make it work. Boss is trying to do the same thing over on the left-hand side, though. He has Hypercharge, and he's getting some Byron heals. He's going to pop the gadget. This could be pretty scary once he gets out of the Shadow Realm. He gets 1 kill, but Maru is able to clean up. So not the worst trade out in the world for the side of Reply Totem, but our gem count is extremely even.
Well, that was very, very scary for the side of Reply Totem, but they were able to come out on top. The Boss is threatening on the right-hand side. He has a super, he has a hypercharge as well. LUKII gets tagged up a little bit, has to go back in the lines here. Gonna be an 8-6 in terms of the gem line. The game has slowed down a little bit, but now we see Boss making an offensive. He goes in hypercharge as well. Hypercharge onto the Semantic as well. Angel Boy gonna be taken out. All the gems collected from the side of Humble. Reply Totem are in shambles as Humble are on match point here. Heals are on point by LUKII. Boss needs to stay alive, or Semantic as well. They need to get 2 kills, and right now they're going for Semantic is there. He gets taken out. No, he's still alive. Gets taken out at the end. Kills are there. Angel Boy gets the gems. He gets with all the gems. That's crazy.
Oh my god, he's keeping Reply Totem alive by himself right there, getting the reset, being able to take down LUKII and cycling super to get back out. They just need to survive this push, but they can kill Angel Boy or Mari, and they're going to be able to get a reset. They're falling quite weak. Angel Boy is going to get more than enough gems, but Semantic is still alive. He's going to take them out, and he's the last person alive. He's taking his getaway right here with the Geisha form. He's got such good movement speed. Boss does miss the super though, and we're gonna have to see Totem regroup for our final push with 8 seconds left on the board. Angel Boy has his hypercharge. They know where Semantic is, but he's too mobile to be able to get him. He falls weak, but it's not gonna be enough, and Humble is going to be taking our first spot in the OWN Valencia Grand Finals. What a game, Panda.
Beautiful stuff coming in from Humble. It seemed like Reply Totem had their card, but unfortunately for them, it is going to be another debilitating loss, 3-1 for the side of Reply Totem, as Humble are going to be going on to the grand finals. It is still not, we do not say goodbye to Reply Totem. They are still going to be there tomorrow. They're going to be playing the lower bracket finals against SK Gaming, and the winner of that is going to be facing Humble in the grand finals tomorrow. So you see the congratulations from both sides. Teams are analyzing what they could have done, what has happened, but all these teams are going to be participating tomorrow. So we've only lost one team by the wayside on match day number 1, and that is Team Heretics, Duncan.
Dude, I cannot believe how that game ended, man. There was 2 full resets in the spawn, and then they just managed to somehow get it back, dude. That's just, I mean, this was cinema, man. Like, you can't ask for a better game than this for the upper bracket finals. I cannot wait to see what tomorrow has to bring for us. Totem still has a chance to bounce back. Like you said, they will be playing in the lower bracket finals against SK Gaming. But Humble, once again, man, they have not lost. They are 9-0 throughout our entire OWN tournament so far. Definitely the team to beat as far as OWN goes, and they're going to have to be defeated twice tomorrow in order to not take home the grand prize.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just kind of crazy how things have turned out, I guess, in the last 4 hours. We kind of expected things to be a certain way. We thought certain teams are going to be the teams to beat. Heretics was